Hello there, TV viewer. This is Shirley Luu. Welcome to the next Focus on Finance. And you know, today is such an exciting event because we're going back memory lanes, and also I want to give the viewer the latest what's happening with my IUL ASAP book. And so, do you remember several years ago we launched the book, and at that time the IUL ASAP. Let's recap a little bit about the IUL ASAP. What was the book intended, and what is the IUL ASAP? And I want to ask you a couple questions since then. What's been happening within the past couple years? Because I know we launched it when it hit Amazon. It became #1 in 7 categories, and you were very instrumental in amazing way. Had made this happen with me publishing the book, and publisher helping assist me in the process. So Enzo?
Yeah, well, first off, honored to be here with you and honored to help you with this book. IUL stands for Indexed Universal Life. Obviously, it's a personal, permanent life insurance, cash value life insurance. And you know, I remember about 8-9 years ago when you were the first one to tell me about this. I didn't know. I've had a couple 401ks personally, and the fact that I had never heard about this product, which was very holistic. You know, it really checks off a lot of boxes off on what people are looking for. And as you know, obviously way more than me, then that many people, everybody's familiar with term insurance, everybody's familiar with whole life insurance.
Yeah.
And term is temporary, and there's an extremely high probability, 99-point-something% chance it's going to expire on you. Term is better than nothing. A lot of people at work, they get term with work. Okay, great. Then you have whole life, which is permanent, and you're covered your whole life, right? Yeah. But when you think about the evolution of life insurance, they said, okay, well, first we had term life insurance. Then they said, you know what, it'd be nice if we could have life insurance that lasted your whole life. Great. And with whole life, as you know, you get some cash value, and you even have a guaranteed interest. So that's really, really good. However, people say, wouldn't it be nice if we had more flexibility, right? And wouldn't it be nice if we could have more flexibility with the premium, with the design, but also have cash value, and maybe even be able to utilize the markets to increase the cash value? And that's this thing called IUL. And again, when you told me about this thing 8-9 years ago, I was like, it just doesn't make sense. I feel like this is something that everybody should know about. And you're like, I know, I've been talking about this for a very long time. You've obviously had thousands of clients, and you've helped many people get an IUL. So anyways, I was very happy to work on this book with you, with the IUL. And yet, like you said, it was a bestseller in 7 different categories. And, you know, and it's just been a very powerful thing to kind of spread the awareness on that.
Yeah, but you know, it's interesting that you mentioned about the term insurance, because typically a lot of companies out there offer what's called term insurance for their employees. They offer either the basic pay, and then you for free normally,
right.
Basic salary, and then if you want to buy extra, you pay extra for it. But you know what's been happening lately? So fascinated. A lot of companies are implementing IUL inside employee payroll deductions.
Exactly.
Because they felt very strongly that, you know, over the years, you know, they wanted something more stable, more consistency, and also portability as well.
Yeah, and on top of that, and real quick, Shirley, also the long-term care part, right? Because the other big thing about the IUL is you have this thing called long-term, or you know, living benefits. And as you know, like they're actually starting to mandate in states across the country that people have some type of living benefit, long-term care. And the beautiful thing about the IUL, as you know, is that the death benefit can be used while you are alive if you have a qualifying medical condition. So, and that's a big deal. I mean, I've heard just I've had recent stories hearing from people who both, because they had the life insurance, it really got them out of a potentially financial just disaster, and other people who didn't have it. And guess what happened? They went into a financial disaster. So it's a really powerful element. But I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, but I'm glad you mentioned the part about long-term care. And one of the things is, as you and I know, that when we talk to clients in the face out there, they're saying, well, wait a minute, I should have bought long-term care when I'm 50 years old. Because from a cost perspective, if you bought something earlier, when it comes to insurance, the cost is cheaper, you know, and it locks it down and all that. But regular, you know, long-term care, it's in a way it's kind of like term insurance, because if you don't use it, you lose it. I mean, Enzo, you met my mom, right? She's 92 years old, and she'll probably outrun you and I. And imagine if I would have bought a separate long-term care policy out there for her, she still hadn't used it.
On top of that, the way those, you again, long-term care insurance, that's a thing, but typically the way it works is you have to you have it, and then if you have a qualifying event, you then have to use out-of-pocket money, right, to then pay for the expense, and then you have to go try to get your reimbursement. Whereas with the IUL, once you've qualified for it, you can get that money up front. And by the way, you can use that money for whatever you want. So if you want to go see, some person in India and, and do some meditation to fix your, you could actually do that. With a regular long-term care insurance, it would have to be for a qualifying medical expense. Yeah. So it's more limited, it's more restricted. So another reason why I like the IUL long-term care built in.
Absolutely. And there's so many people out there. And it's not just long-term care. One of the things I want to talk a little bit about, Enzo, on the living benefits,
okay.
Right? So long-term care is one of the features that inside an IUL, okay? Can you share with the group audience out there what are some of the other benefits besides just long-term care that the feature has inside the IUL?
So, well, of course, then there's the cash accumulation, right? I mean, a big reason why people are interested, in the IUL is they want to be their own bank. Okay, and you hear this concept a lot on social media, people wanting to use IUL to be their own bank. Right. And I work with a lot of business owners also, and business owners are leveraging the IUL, and they're basically, being very aggressive with the cash they're putting into it. And as long as your death benefit is high enough, really the sky's the limit, actually. You can really put a lot of money into this thing, which will ultimately, practically speaking, grow tax-free and tax-deferred, assuming you're going to take the money out via a policy loan, which is the typical way, right? Mm-hmm. So, working with business owners, they like to use this and to try to be their own bank, because if you're going to go for a loan, who would you rather go to? The bank across the street, right? Who's going to give you the terms, and then if you need to change the terms, you have to go back to that bank, ask for permission. Or what if you go to your own bank called your IUL, and you go into your own bank and you tap into that cash money and you make the interest on that? And that is, there's a huge movement actually behind using IUL for that purpose. So the cash accumulation, I think, is another big one.
Absolutely. And you know what I love about the IUL? A lot of time you and I have parents or grandparents and other folks, and they're at an age where they basically run into a situation where, how about this, Alzheimer's having effect every day. They don't quite, you're not dead right away. It could take times.
My stepfather got Alzheimer's.
Wow. And how about the heart attack? The strokes, they're just kind of maybe disabled a little bit on the left-hand side. Well, what I love about the IUL is if you did have those conditions, the IUL itself, again, gives you choices and option as a client. Do I want to use the money now? Or do I want to leave part of it for my family? Part of it I use it now. It's so robust in the way the industry is changing, where you basically make the decision. Kind of do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of robust, let's remember what the U means. The U means universal, right? So what is that nodding to? That's essentially talking about flexibility. And so I know with a lot of my clients, what they love about it is this plan can grow with you, right? And so you could have a plan and sort of set it up a certain way, and then a few years later, because your family is bigger or your family is smaller, you can modify it, and you could make those moves with the IUL pretty easily. And so that's what I love about another thing about the IUL is that it's very, very flexible. It's very, very malleable, and you can truly sort of bend it to kind of work for you.
So let me ask you that. I know you've been interfacing with a lot of folks out there as you're talking about the product itself and education. An IUL, who is it really good for? At what ages? Because should a baby have an IUL? Okay, why would a baby need a life insurance, right? Because I always get that. And of course, I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, I'll just talk about what my clients want. And my clients basically, as soon as a child is born, you could have it. Obviously, as a parent, you're not really thinking of it as life insurance in the traditional sense, if you know what I mean. We're not thinking about that way. What we're thinking about is just having a plan and because what parents are, when they get these IULs for their kids, they are basically putting money in there and they're using it sort of as a pseudo 529 plan, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they're intending that plan to serve as money for education, matrimony, maybe a down payment on their first house, and so they're going to put money in there. And again, they are rest assured that they're not going to lose any money, right? Because one of the features of IUL, of course, is that you don't lose money. You can make money using the index markets, right?
Yeah.
For example, like the S&P 500, but you won't lose any money because you have this thing called the 0% floor, which basically just means you can't go negative. And a lot of people really love that fact that they know their money is protected, but they know they can grow using the markets. And that's obviously one of the big attractions of the IUL.
Oh my gosh, the biggest thing I totally forgot. I can't forget this. The last chapter of the IUL ASAP book talk about the 5-year plan. The 5-year retirement plan. We can't forget about this. Can you share with the group what we talk about in the 5-year retirement
so the 5-year plan, of course, it's a very aggressive, leverage-based IUL. So the 5-year plan is an IUL, okay, but it's a plan that you only fund for 5 years and you're done. And of course, what I love about it, and I think what most people love about it, is again, you're done in 5 years. So, and when you've created this plan, this is a plan that's literally going to serve as retirement income, life insurance, money in case of emergency, and it's going to what's special about the 5-year plan versus a traditional IUL is that you will actually have more insurance, you will have more tax-free income,
and more benefits,
and with less capital
Yep.
from the client. So you're actually only putting up a portion of what it takes. So that's actually the great thing about the 5-year plan.
Oh, I know, because I have so many companies now coming to us and saying, hey, I want to create, like kind of similar to Keyman Insurance, but yet have the funding uniquely designed that they do it for the executive and employee for 5 years and they are done.
Yeah, it's amazing. People love the 5-year plan, and a lot of people really, it's one of those plans that if you don't know about it yet, you should at least know about it. Maybe do it now, maybe do it later.
Yeah, well, we'd love to connect with you and talk to you. You can reach out to Shirley Luu and Associates.com, and my can be reached number is 703-608-1203. Again, you can Google our name very easily.
You
Shirley
can also
Luu
go
and
to
Associates.
IULASAP.com.
Yeah, that's wonderful, and so looking to hear from you.